Picture this. You wake up in the same city you've known your whole life, only to find it suddenly was separated into two. Paths you used to take every day are now impassable. Familiar faces you usually see across the street are now on the other side of a wall that appeared overnight. Your job, your favorite cafe, even your weekend market are now out of reach. This was the reality in Germany when the Berlin Wall went up, splitting their lives and their city in half. This became the most divisive line that separated not just Germany, but the entire world. To understand why a divisive wall was built, we must first look back at World War II. In the war's aftermath, the world was profoundly altered. The world was a very different place. The war had left Europe in ruins, and the once vibrant city of Berlin was no exception. As the dust settled, four powerful nations, the United States, the Soviet Union, Britain, and France, gathered at the Potsdam Conference in July 1945 to determine the future of Germany. The outcome of this conference resulted in a critical decision. Germany would be divided into four occupation zones, each controlled by one of the Allies. The Soviet Union occupied eastern Germany, with Berlin situated deep within this zone. The United States took charge of the southern regions. Britain managed the northwestern territory, while France oversaw the southwestern part of Germany. Berlin, although located in the Soviet zone, was also divided into four sectors in accordance with the post-war agreement, which gave the Allies joint administration in the city. This meant that even within a city, the differences between the East and West would begin to take shape. As time passed, the initial cooperation between the Allies began to crumble due to differing visions for post-war Europe. The Western Allies aimed to create a democratic Germany that could rebuild and thrive, while the Soviet Union sought to establish a communist regime characterized by control and repression. As relations worsened and tensions escalated, the US, France, and Britain had combined their sectors to form the Federal Republic of Germany, or FRG, while the Soviets solidified their grip on East Germany, forming the German Democratic Republic, or GDR. The two sides began to drift further apart, each developing distinct political systems, economies, and societies. This caused the life in East and West Berlin to be very different for almost 2 decades, 1940s and 1950s. Life in East Germany feels like a blend of comfort and limitation. The government has its hands in nearly every aspect of daily life, controlling everything from jobs to healthcare. On one hand, it's reassuring to know that medical care is free, but on the other hand, finding food and basic goods can be a real struggle. Adding to this sense of limitation is the ever-present watch of the Stasi, the secret police. They monitor people's every move and word, creating an atmosphere of caution where discussing politics or sharing personal opinions can feel risky. In schools, students learn only state-approved lessons, and jobs are handed out by the government. While this ensures job security, it doesn't leave much room for personal growth, unlike in the side of West Germany, where they enjoyed freedom to choose from a variety of opportunities with higher salaries in different industries like manufacturing, technology, services, and finance. Here, self-expression is welcomed. Residents had the freedom to express themselves and participate in various cultural events, exhibitions, and festivals. For about 16 years after World War II, people in Berlin could move freely between East and West. Families visited each other, friends met in cafes, and workers crossed daily to reach their jobs. But East Germany was struggling. Its economy couldn't keep up, and thousands of people were leaving for a better life in the West. By 1961, about 3.5 million East Germans had left in search of better public services and a higher quality of life. This mass migration was a big concern for the East German government, as it threatened their economy and control over the population. To stop more people from leaving, East Germany decided to close off its borders, leading to the construction of what we know now as the Berlin Wall. On the night of August 12, 1961, everything changed in a shocking turn of events. Soldiers and police flooded the streets, quickly tearing up pavement and installing barriers to close the border. At first, the barriers were just barbed wire and mesh gates. Some brave individuals managed to escape by making daring leaps over the wire. However, that became nearly impossible once 106 kilometers of 3.6-meter-high concrete walls replaced the barbed wire, topped with smooth pipes to prevent climbing. To make the border even more secure, the government added layers of spikes, landmines, and guard dogs around the barriers. They also constructed 302 watchtowers and 20 bunkers, creating a formidable barrier that would keep East Germans from reaching the West. They also built what became known as the Death Strip, a cleared area of 100 meters wide. This strip was covered in sand to ensure guards had a clear view of anyone attempting to escape the wall, with orders to shoot on sight. Despite the heavy security designed to keep people from crossing the border, around 100,000 escape attempts were recorded between 1961 and 1989. Many brave East Germans found ways to slip through, with nearly 5,000 successfully making it to West Germany. Their escapes were often risky and creative. Some climbed the towering concrete wall under the cover of night, while others dug deep tunnels beneath it, fueled by hope and desperation. A few even made clever disguises to try to blend in and cross over. But fleeing wasn't easy, and the risks were high. About 10,000 people were arrested during their attempts, and tragically, 140 lost their lives due to shootings or accidents while trying to escape. The Berlin Wall, while known for dividing the city and its people, had surprising effects on both East and West Germany. For East Germany, the wall acted like a shield, stopping its workers from fleeing to the more prosperous West. This helped the East German government keep control and maintain its grip on power. By preventing people from leaving, the regime could portray itself as a strong defender of socialism, painting the wall as a necessary barrier against Western threats. This narrative helped justify their strict rules and made some citizens feel loyal to their government, despite the harsh conditions they faced. On the other side, West Germany felt the impact of the wall in a very different way. As people risked everything to escape East Germany, many made it across, leading to a surge of refugees. This influx put a strain on West Germany's resources, forcing them to invest heavily in border security and support for those who fled. The situation sparked tensions and protests, with many calling for reunification and highlighting human rights issues. As the years went by, the hold of the Berlin Wall started to loosen, and life changed on both sides of the border. By the late 1980s, people in East Germany were growing increasingly unhappy. The economy was struggling, and many longed for the freedoms enjoyed in the West. Inspired by reforms in the Soviet Union, where leader Mikhail Gorbachev was promoting openness and change, East Germans began to speak out. Peaceful protests erupted, with citizens demanding their rights and expressing their desire for a better life. Then, on the night of November 9, 1989, everything changed. In a moment of confusion, a government spokesperson announced that East Germans could cross the border without restrictions. Imagine the rush of adrenaline as word spread like wildfire. News spread quickly, and thousands rushed to the wall, eager to escape. Caught off guard, border guards had no choice but to let them through. The atmosphere was electric. Families reunited, tears flowed, and laughter filled the air as they embraced loved ones separated for so long. People climbed atop the wall, cheering and celebrating their newfound freedom. It was a beautiful sight, wherein joyful crowds are seen tearing down pieces of the wall with hammers and their bare hands, determined to reclaim their lives. The fall of the Berlin Wall was more than just the collapse of a physical barrier. It was a profound statement of resilience, unity, and the enduring human spirit. It signified the triumph of hope over oppression and ignited a passion for freedom that resonated far beyond Germany's borders. This historic moment changed not only Germany but also the world, signaling the end of the Cold War and inspiring people everywhere to fight for democracy. If the wall had stayed up, the world might have remained divided, silencing voices that dared to speak out and keeping people under tight control. The gap between East and West would have grown wider, leading to even more economic struggles and isolation. Fear could have taken root, crushing the dreams of many. But instead, The wall came down, opening doors to new possibilities and showing us that change is possible when people come together for a common cause. So, what do you think about the fall of the Berlin Wall and its impact on our world? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in to our journey through the past. If you enjoyed exploring history with us, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. What historical events do you want us to dive into next? Keep exploring and catch us next time for more eventful insights.